I was sitting in my room with my phone, scrolling through videos when I saw something that piqued my curiosity. It was an image of a house. The house looked very old and very abandoned. I don't know what it was about the house that intrigued me, but I had to go there. I went to my parents and asked them if I could go out for a bit, and they said yes. I got in my car and drove to the location of the house. When I arrived, the house was even more eerie than in the picture. There were broken windows, and the front door hung off its hinges. The paint that once adorned the house was now chipped and faded, revealing the rotting wood underneath. I walked up to the house and knocked on the door. All I heard was the creaking of the old wooden door. As I stood there contemplating whether I should enter or not, I noticed something strange. The doorknob began to turn slowly, as if someone was trying to open the door from the other side. Fear started to grip me, but curiosity got the better of me. I pushed the door open and stepped inside. The interior of the house was dark and musty. Cobwebs hung from the ceiling and covered the furniture like a macabre tapestry. As my eyes adjusted to the darkness, I noticed a staircase leading to the upper floor. I called out, "Hello! Is anyone there?" My voice echoed through the empty rooms, but there was no reply. I decided to explore further. I walked past a rocking chair that creaked rhythmically as if someone had just gotten up from it. I continued on until I reached the kitchen. On the counter, I saw a plate with a single apple on it. The apple looked fresh, and an irrational fear that someone was watching me crept up on me. I dropped the apple on the floor and it shattered into pieces. Suddenly, I heard footsteps above me. I froze, unsure of what to do. Then I started to run. I ran through the house, not knowing where I was going. I could hear the footsteps following me. I ran outside and kept going until I reached my car. I got in the car and quickly drove away. I didn't look back. I didn't want to look back. Back in my room, I tried to calm my racing heart. I told myself it was just an old house, and there was nothing to be afraid of. But as I lay in bed, I couldn't help but wonder if I really was being followed. The footsteps, the rocking chair, the apple. It all seemed like a setup, a trap to lure me into the house. Why was I the only person who had the guts to enter the abandoned house? Who was trying to get my attention and why? And what was that face staring at me from the other side of the door? I tried to sleep, but the images of the house filled my dreams, turning them into a nightmare. I woke up with a start, my heart pounding in my chest. The sun was streaming through my window, casting long rays of light on my bedroom floor. Had it all been a dream?
I wondered.
I got out of bed and went to the window. I looked out at the street below, half expecting to see the abandoned house. But there was no house. In fact, there wasn't even a street. What I saw was my own backyard. The house from my nightmare was not an abandoned building somewhere in the neighborhood. It was my house. I lived in that house. But how could I have not known? How could I have not remembered? I ran to the front door and threw it open. I stepped out onto the porch and looked at the house as if seeing it for the first time. It looked normal, almost inviting. But behind the facade, I knew there was something sinister lurking, something malevolent that had been watching me. As I stood there, frozen in fear, I noticed a rocking chair on the porch. It creaked rhythmically, just like the one inside the house. And on the porch swing, I saw a plate with a single apple on it. An apple, just like the one on the counter. A cold dread washed over me as I realized I was not safe. I was not free. Whatever had been in that house was still there, and now it was closer than ever.